song goes, I'm on the road again. Heading out on another backpacking trip. That makes 2 significant trips in September alone, which I've never done anything like that before. And I had so much fun on the trip that Travis and I did back in June to Smoky Mountain National Park, but I'm heading back for another go at it. This time it's going to be a 4-day, 30-mile or so loop, and I'm going to be starting out at Clingman's Dome tomorrow morning. Next stop, Gatlinburg. Wow, you don't see that on the road every day. Welcome to Gatlinburg. Traffic hasn't improved much since we were here last. I made it back to the Microtel Inn & Suites by Wyndham. I realized last time we were here I didn't give you a tour of the room. The beautiful thing about it, it was $55 for the room for the night, and it's literally 100 yards from the main drag in Gatlinburg. Microtel Inn & Suites by Wyndham. I can definitely endorse it. Certainly not luxury, but it gets the job done. Out exploring in Gatlinburg. Oh, look at this. My favorite pizza slice place. I have a feeling I'm going to be back there. Heading over to the same brew pub that Travis and I hit up, but I'm solo this time. Can't miss up on that Reuben sandwich. We'll be back over there later, I'm sure, after dinner. I found the place. I can smell it. Smoky Mountain Brewery. That is the right place. Sad I'm not here with Travis. Travis, I miss you. Heading in for a repeat of our dinner from the last time. Kind of a trip. When Travis and I were here the last time, they were doing this trivia thing, just like they're doing now. it's like deja vu all over again. So you got the pleasure of meeting Jimbo when you went. That's awesome. Smoky Mountain Brewing Company treated me very, very well tonight. Moonshine. Get a slice of pepperoni?
Sure. Go 47.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah,
thanks a lot. Good night in Gatlinburg. Heading back to the room, get some sleep, and do some walking starting tomorrow morning. Good morning. In Gatlinburg. Heading up the hill to Newfound Gap and Clingman's Dome. Probably getting a little bit too early of a start, but I didn't know what the situation would be up parking wise up at Clingman's Dome. Got a little more driving to do to get to Clingman's Dome. It's a long way up the hill. Made my way up to Newfound Gap. Wow. I think I'm gonna have some views on this trip. Made it to the Clingman's Dome parking lot. I don't think parking was an issue. I probably could have slept in a little more, but gorgeous day. It's a little chilly up here. It's only about 54 degrees, but I'm gonna head up to the observation tower and take a look at that and then get the pack and get going here. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I guess they're refurbishing it and won't be done till next April. We're gonna have some views this trip, that's for sure. Get in the pack and we'll get going pretty early. As you can see, I am geared up and I am now hiking. The pack is actually quite heavy. It's been a while since I packed for a full 4-day trip with luxury items. Made it to the Appalachian Trail again. That's a really nice site because it basically means, I think, at least today is predominantly downhill from here. The iconic blaze of the AT. Not bad views this trip. It's almost like I had to make up for the June trip when we didn't get any views. Getting them today. I got to get all these now, by the way, because we're not going to be really spending that much time up here on the AT. Just a couple miles today, and then we'll be down in the woods where it'll be a whole different type of beauty, but it won't have these sorts of views. Did you start at Klingman's Dome? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. On your way back?
Yeah, I just hiked to the shelter and come back.
Oh, okay. I was here in June, and it was just raining for 2 days. So
that's typical.
This is making up for it. I can't stop in every 20 feet, to take pictures and get video. So gorgeous. Trail has been like for a while. Walking through the Hobbity woods. Really almost since that AT intersection sign. It's been downhill and pretty steep. The next trail I'm taking is the Goshen Prong Trail, and it heads down to our camp for the night. Anytime you drop off this spine that is the Appalachian Trail, they're usually pretty steep trails going down, so I expect that one to be very much like the Sweat Heifer Trail from our June trip. The AT. That's a significant milestone, or at least a marker. We're heading this way. It doesn't say campsite 23 is actually where we're heading, so I'm not sure how far it is. I'll check the map here. It's less than 5 miles, so, and I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty significantly downhill. So. Well, as expected, I think it's Goshen Prong Trail. It's pretty steep downhill, pretty rough trail. I mean, just in general on your feet and your knees, and not real easy hiking. This is the same sort of crazy mushrooms from our June trip, but they've changed colors. Haven't captured a lot of video on this descent because I could just splice together the scenes that I did take for 4.4 miles and you'd get the gist of it. Really pretty rough trail between the roots and then these sections with these nasty all odd-shaped rocks that you've got to kind of step right on the edges. It's kind of a little dangerous. About the first mini view we've had on the Goshen Prong Trail. Not a great view, but see a little bit out there. Oh, look at this cool spot I came across. Kind of creepy too, because it looks like perfect habitat for something. I mean, it'd be a great shelter if you had to use it. Well, it may have been my imagination, but right after I took a still picture of the cave, which is right back there, I swear I heard something big move inside that thing. You know, they say people go weak in the knees. I know what it feels like now. Pretty little spot, huh? Just taking a little break. I think it was the first time I've ever started really high and had to descend, what, over 2,000 vertical feet, I think, with a super heavy pack. really taking a toll on my legs, my knees. I think we're probably within a mile of campsite 23, which is where we're going to be staying the night. So this is what the trail looks like now. It's really flattened out. I think I'm within a mile or less. Campground 23. Not the most exciting trail in the world, the Goshen Brong. We're almost to campsite 23. Found this spot. And if you wanted to, just walk right across the other side. This means... Well, no, it doesn't. Actually, I'm certain campsite 23 is right here somewhere. It's right at that trail junction, or that mileage marker. It's got to be right here somewhere. That's the only marker for 23. And you can see, here's the trail in both directions. I could see how you could walk right past that. I happened to be looking for it and just turned my head and was like, oh, 23. Here's our home for the night. Never been to a Great Smoky Mountains National Park backcountry campsite, so this is a first for me. Kind of a cool little area. I think we'll go back here even further. Even if more people show up, then I'll kind of have claimed this whole back spot. There's good sitting logs. It's a nice spot. I like it. I'm going to give you the tour. Backcountry campsite number 23. I'd call this the rear annex. That's the trail that comes into the campsite 23. This is the front area, I would call it. There's a fire ring right behind there. Obviously plenty of places to camp. Back annex is back there. That's where I'm going to set up camp. There's another fire ring there. Nice little spot. That's right, I'm a gravity guy. I finally broke down and bought one of the things. I just love that. That's 8 liters of no fuss, no mess, no work, perfectly clean, wonderful water straight out of the stream with no chemicals in it. Why didn't I do this before? I know, you've all been telling me. I'm sorry to say that I can't show you the always exciting Aquamira water purification because I don't have to do it anymore. We'll skip the Aquamira and go right to the delicious Endurax R4. Alright, it's not tasty, but I'll tell you, these legs really need it today. And something that I've really grown to enjoy recently, the Tuna Creations, Starkist Tuna Creations Bold, once again, Thai chili style. To patio. I bought 50 of these, so I'd never have to go without. Well, I'm kind of resting a little bit. I've been out collecting firewood. Well, and I got enough firewood here to last me for the winter. One of the beauties of Great Smoky Mountain National Park is they allow you to have fires. It's what I always call nature TV. My Grand Trunk Nano Hammock weighs about half a pound. Pure luxury item. Really nice way to just kind of get all the gravity off of you. Oh, God, that feels good. Checking the map, not so much for tomorrow, but to see what I've gotten myself into on the third day. Well, that is going to be a long day. You were looking at my view from happy hour hammock style. The hammock sure feels good. Oh my God. Get all of that weight off your feet and everything is such a wonderful feeling. So this is the food hanging thing. You probably can't see it, but there's a little hook way up there at the top. Unhook it from here. At this point you can rotate down the one side with the hook on it. So here you got some hooks, so you hang your food bag on there. And then you simply rotate it back up to the top. And you hook it to the tree, and your food's up there. It's a process. Just feed it little twigs until you get it going, and then the bigger twigs. Fire is going. Great Smoky Mountains National Park, night number 1. Happy hour fire style. Alright, little mini serving of cheddar cheese spread. Now for about 3 crackers. Mountain House beef stroganoff, still solo. Nobody here. Campsite 23. Looks like I'm gonna have it all to myself tonight. Well, I have the fire going quite well. Can't probably tell, but it's all over gray, gloomy skies, and it's actually raining. It's getting a little more serious. So we may get chased into the tent here pretty quick. I'm afraid the rain may chase me into my tent here. I've been putting it off as long as I can because I've got this wonderful fire going. This may be the end of the first night on our backpacking trip. Good morning. Morning of day number 2 in Great Smoky Mountain National Park. It's raining. Should get up and get going here pretty quick, but it's awfully comfortable in here. Start of day number 2 in the rain. Dunkin' Donuts coffee, even on a cold, rainy, damp morning in Smoky Mountain National Park. Check that, especially on a cold, rainy, damp morning here. Oh, I've been looking forward to this. Dunkin' Donuts coffee, getting the day started right. Wet. If I can, I like to get everything pretty much packed up before I eat my breakfast. I like to get everything done and have that thought, all I got to do is eat, put my pack on, and get going. Oh, good. I'm geared up, and I just took a quick stroll around camp. We have left no trace. I don't know if you can see, it's probably going to overexpose it pretty significantly, but that's beautiful blue skies and sunshine on the hills over there. We're heading out, day number 2. Get the hiking going. Keep this up and we'll be done real early today. It's going to be done pretty quick. What the trail has been so far this morning. Level, flat, and much faster hiking. Here's what the trail is now. You can see it winds all the way, follows the stream. Note to self, bring along a couple dry cloths to wipe the lens. Having a beast of a time trying to keep the lenses clear, they just keep fogging up. Walking in the sun now. Feels nice. Well, after all of that really nice maintained stuff, it's a little overgrown through here. And the bad part that made it, oh man, that hurt. Humidity is about 140% if that's possible. I'm having to wipe the lenses on both the camera and the video camera every time I want to take a shot, and that's becoming more and more difficult as my clothes are getting more and more wet. Well, they gave us a bridge. That was awfully nice of them. They haven't done that for us yet. An important intersection here. That's the Goshen Prong Trail. 7.7 miles we were on that. This is the trail we're going, the Little River Trail they call it. Well, it's 0.7 miles to Camp 24, and then I think it's 1.8 after that up to Camp 30, which is where we're going. No more Goshen Prong Trail, we're done with that. I don't know if you've been keeping track, but it's been a little bit over 24 hours since I've had any contact with another human being, or any contact with the outside world for that matter. When's the last time that you never saw or talked with another human being for more than a full day? I'm not sure what this is. I was guessing it was campsite 24, but I don't think it's any campsite anything. And I turn to my right and look what I find. Yep, we are at campsite 24. Nice little area, another spot there. See if there's any more up there, but yeah, this is number 24. So this is my second data point on Smoky Mountains National Park backcountry campsites. You know, they're nice. They got lots of different sites, spots. The thought has crossed my mind to make tomorrow a little shorter, easier day, is I might just come back here. I want to go check out 30. My permit's for 30, but you know, if there's nobody staying at these spots, I don't think it would get me in too much trouble. I don't know what the protocol is for that, but people showed up to fill it up. I'd move on or go back, whatever. Here's another significant milestone. That's where we're going to be going tomorrow. That tape right there that looks like it was across the trail has me a little concerned. Let me see what the sign says. Well, there's no date on it. The barricade's not up any longer. I know the fire was a long time ago. Don't know what that means, but it's really my only way to get back up to Mount Collins. I'll check the maps and see if I have any alternates, but I don't think I do. Well, I don't know. It was down. Do we assume that the trail was closed or not? I have no way of knowing, and I made the mistake of not checking before I came out here, which is a big no-no. We may have reached campsite 30. Everybody describes this particular stream crossing, especially in high water. They all talk about this one kind of being a tricky one. Water doesn't look real high right now, so it doesn't look any worse than some of the ones we've had to do. Yeah, it looks like we made it to campsite number 30. Not much to see from here, but as I've learned from the other ones we've gone past, usually there's a lot of hidden spots around here. Like, here's a path that goes down that way. Go do some exploring, see what we can find. That was just a tiny little, almost hidden trail to get back here. Somebody built up some contraptions. The problem with this site is there's really not a good flat spot to put a tent. Another spot, this one's just to the right down the trail, right after you came to the main entryway. Came through that trail in the main central area where I've got my pack. It's up that way about 30 yards. Nicely hidden. Perfect spot, but no fire ring. There's that way back spot I had, and this one's even further back, across like a little gully wash kind of thing. Decisions. I think this is a spot I've decided on. It's just too perfect for setting a tent up. There's already the fire ring, there's some firewood. For right now, this is home for the night. Night number 2 in Smoky Mountains National Park. I sure do like this. Grab a bag of water, and in a few minutes you got 4 liters of clean water. Durox R4. I am geared up and ready to go again. I have decided to make today a little bit longer day and tomorrow a little bit shorter day. I'm decided to head back to campsite number 24. I'm absolutely certain it's not going to be full. That climb we got to do up the Rough Creek Trail and then all the way up to Mount Collins Shelter is just weighing on my mind. So if I can take a couple miles off the hike tomorrow and just start the morning early and make it a little bit shorter day, I'm pretty sure, just based on how few people I've seen on the trail, which is a grand total of 0, that I'm probably going to have that place all to myself too. 2 miles more for the day downhill to campsite number 24. A crazy way the trail operates. I just went past, literally, almost as soon as I got on the trail, a group of 6 people heading up to campsite 30. It was actually a fortunate rendezvous because they had talked to a trail crew that was doing maintenance on the Rough Creek Trail, which is the one I was concerned about whether it was closed, and they had just opened it. That is the Rough Creek Trail. When we were here before, there was the little sign and the banner and all that. So that looks like the trail is reopened, just like those guys said. That had been weighing on me. You know, when I was up at Campground 30, it was one of the reasons why I decided to head down here to campsite 24. It would give me more options if I had to do some sort of an alternate route. That's the only route I really have that's practical to get up to Mount Collins Shelter tomorrow. We've made it to home for the night. Campsite 24. I think I'm going to go with this one. There's that other one was right up there, and then there was one on this side of the trail that didn't really have any good sitting logs. I think this is home for the night. Campsite number 24. Camp setup number 2 for the day. Camp is all set up here at campsite number 24. I don't know that I could really recommend it. It wouldn't be one of my first choices. It feels good to get camp set up. I'm having a tiny little, actually real little sip of adult beverage. That was just a kind of a strange day with the indecision, and once again not seeing any human beings and no human interaction. Anyways, it's good to be here in camp. I'm going to get the fire going here in a little bit, which hopefully will keep some of the flies away. Good to be in camp. Another tuna wrap, this time hot buffalo style. Just by consuming this, I get rid of a ½ pound of weight for tomorrow. A little more than that because I'm going to put mayonnaise and tapatio on it. We're building it up, but it's not going easy. It's getting there. It doesn't want to go, but it's going. Now it's going better. Fire's going. Day number 2. Well, I cannot believe it, but that is not blue sky. It is very dark. I've been hearing, well, acorns are dropping all the time, but then I was hearing stuff that didn't quite sound as heavy as an acorn, and it was rain. Should have brought the tarp. Well, every time I've said I think the fire is going good now, it keeps going out. I dare say I think it's sustainable at this point in time. I think I'm going to get rained on. There's a really dark cloud coming in. Okay, I can honestly say I can't believe this. I'm sitting here in the middle of basically a thunderstorm. It's been raining really hard under my very tiny ground cloth. I bring the tarp on every single trip I come on, and 9 times out of 10 I never set it up. Throw the tarp in the car because it's like I'm never going to use it, and sure enough we get rain every day. Night number 2. Off to a wet start so far for happy hour. Check that out. I fell backwards off that log last night and whacked my elbow on a stone. Didn't think twice about it. And I just happened to look at it and it's like, ew. This wonderfully designed tarp I'm using, which isn't a tarp at all. It's actually a bathtub ground cloth. Works great as a bathtub, and one of the things a bathtub does is it holds water very well that gets poured into it. Whoa! That's sort of how I do it. Alright, here's the Campground 24 layout. That's the first site you come to as you're walking from the west. There's my site way up there. The only other site I found is right here. The trail goes straight up to Campground 30 where we were. Well, the fire basically went out. I was able to enjoy it for a while. I think the rain didn't help much, but I'm doing my cheddar cheese spread solo style. The fire's gone out, which is a real bummer. I was really hoping to be able to sit in the tent and kind of watch the fire, kind of like nature TV. late night dinner going. This is chicken fried rice, Mountain House. The camera, I was looking through the viewfinder, makes this look infinitely brighter than it is. It's almost dark out here. Well, I know this is super dark. The camera can't even compensate for this. It's dark now. Gotta hang the food bag. It's a little harder to do it in the dark. Food, the trash, everything is good to go. Time for bed. Good morning. Day number 3 in the Smokies. A little bit of a rough night. Didn't sleep real well for whatever reason. There were lots of little noises in the night last night. 1 o'clock in the morning. A very large explosion type sound, cracking sound, which I assume was a tree or a big limb coming down not too far back there, woke me up and my heart was just fine. I'm anxious to get going on this day. I know this Rough Creek Trail, the first section that we'll do today is pretty rough. Close to 2,500 vertical feet of climbing today. The fact that the trail was closed due to fire and storm damage means it might be a little bit rough too. And it started day number 3. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is first on the menu for this morning. A little bit of work, but it's worth it. Get my heart going and supercharge those camp chores this morning. A much needed cup of Dunkin' Donuts today. Just has a way of making everything a little bit better, even a sleepless night in the Smokies and a long uphill day. I figured I'd retrieve the food bag while I'm out enjoying my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Just wanted to show you my kitchen bag, what's become of it. It's kind of disintegrating. I think it's time for a new kitchen bag. Camp is torn down and the pack's pretty much packed. All of that stuff is what goes in the back. And all I've got left to do is eat my Mountain House granola with milk and blueberries. Breakfast is Mountain House granola with milk and blueberries. Yummy. I also cleaned up my firewood mess here and stacked it for the next person. As expected, the milk turns purple right away, so I feel like I'm eating a Smurf breakfast. Camp is broken down and I'm geared up. Somehow the pack never feels any lighter. Campsite number 24. Certainly not the greatest campsite I've ever stayed in, but it worked. It treated us well. So now we're off on day number 3 up to Mount Collins Shelter. All uphill today. Here we go, day number 3. We're heading up to the left this time. Straight ahead over there is up to campsite number 30 where we were. Starting the Rough Creek Trail. Heading up. So actually it was a little steep right at the beginning, but it's gotten just gradual uphill here. And from looking at the map, I think it stays generally like this till that turnoff when it goes up the ridge. And I think that's where the real fun begins. That looked like about 1,000 feet for the last mile of this trail. Very fresh trail maintenance. Here's what we're hiking in. Like a tropical rainforest. The air is just saturated. That's why I had such a beast of a time keeping my lenses clear yesterday. It's just like the Amazon jungles without the heat, I guess. I feel like I've got the place to myself. I probably do. I don't think anybody's been on this trail for a long time. Kind of a pretty little spot. I imagine this is Rough Creek, huh? Our first little stream crossing. The trail's gotten a little steeper. I'm not even to the steep part yet. It's just so humid and jungle-like in here. I think this lens is even fogged up a little bit, and it's not hot. It's not from like heat and humidity. It's actually pretty chilly. I wanted to stop for this section because this has all been recently maintained, like is in yesterday. All I can say is thank you, trail crew. Well, here's what we're hiking at. Probably about 750 feet per mile grade. A little beyond my ability to gut it out without taking frequent video stops. I'm getting into the area, I think, where the fires occurred. You can clearly see them up there. It looks like you can still smell it kind of in the air though. When I looked on the map, I was surprised the fires were here, but there's a ridge here, mountain. Right on the other side of it is Chimney Tops, which is apparently where the fire started and where it was most intense. I think this whole trail would have looked like this if they hadn't done this maintenance on it for me. Thank you, trail crews. I think this is the steep part. There's the trail. Looks a lot steeper to me than I'm sure it does to you. But that's really grungy. Like looking like rain grungy. So much for my 4 perfectly clear days. You're probably thinking I brought it on myself because I threw the tarp back in the box in the car. You're probably right. That's a sure way to get constant rain. It's kind of nice to get up a little bit and start getting some views again. Haven't had those for a couple days. Cool little spot in the fire damage. It's getting worse. That's a trail. So as it is. There really isn't a trail, actually. Hard to make out a trail. Nobody's been this way in a long time, and most of it kind of goes right along the edge, and you can see what the edge. It's pretty steep terrain right here. Over there, I'm guessing is the top. And it's not that far up from here. This is nice compared to that what we've been walking through. They just did this. Level, no roots, soft. Fire was really intense here. Even though we're looking at them through the trees, the views aren't so bad from up here. I think when we get to the top, we'll have better views. Well, I think my plans just changed pretty dramatically. Lesson for all of you and me, check for trail closures before you come out here. Let me kind of show you where we are and what options I have, which are basically none. I'm right there. The trail's closed in 4 miles, one direction, 4.1 miles, and 4.8 miles in the other direction up to Mount Collins. That way. My only option really is to head back down to Elkmont and then try to find a ride up to Klingman's Dome. So what that means for me is I got to backtrack the 2.8 miles I just did, and then I've got to head all the way down to Elkmont, which is about another 4 miles. I think my trip is going to be over a day short. I'm just kicking myself as I'm backtracking the 2.8 miles I fought so hard to get today. Now my plans have completely changed. Now it's a hitchhiking trip. Anyways, hopefully we can all learn from this. I will. I won't ever make this mistake again. It was rough going up, it's really rough going down. With all these vines, you can see there's really no trail to speak of. Not easy walking, but we only got a little bit of this, and then we get back on that real trail. Because nobody's hiked on this trail in so long, it's at an angle about like that with rocks and roots and cut vines. We're about back to where we started. 5 miles to the trailhead. Beautiful. 5 more miles to go. Already done 5.6 brutal ones. Let's all wave as we sprint by last night's campsite. Bye, campsite number 24. We're going this way to Elkmont. Crazy day. Making good time on this trail, I'll tell you what. I'm going over 4 miles an hour so far. Reminds me a little of the Creeper Trail. After not having any contact with another human being for the better part of 3 days, except for 15 seconds with one group, this trail's a little overwhelming. You're going 3 days feeling like you're about the only person on earth, and now all of a sudden I'm immersed in day hikers galore. So apparently my yogiing technique needs some improvement. I've been striking up a conversation with groups as I've been passing them, and we finally get to my plight of my car being at Clingman's Dome, and my hope is that someone goes, oh, we're going up there, I'll take you up there. No such luck. I need to work on my yogi techniques, yogiing a ride up to Clingman's Dome. So I made it to the trailhead. Now I have no idea where the campground is. It's got to be up this road. I'll have to pull my map out and check, but I don't think it's that far. But... Hi. Well, my car's up at Clingman's Dome. Is there any shuttle services that I could call, or you could call? Oh, is there a trolley that goes?
There's a trolley, but I don't know.
Well, if I could get to Gatlinburg, I could probably find one if I had cell phone service.
The next one's going to arrive at 3:10 at Elkmont.
Doesn't get there till 3:55. Okay. There's no cell phone coverage here?
There's none at
No?
all.
Okay.
You want to call a taxi or something?
Yeah,
like
if you have a landline phone,
Yeah.
just see if there's like a hiker shuttle service or a taxi. This is All Right Taxi? Okay.
Well, I have a ride. It's going to cost me a little bit of coin, but I would gladly pay at this point. I'm getting some much needed EFS and a serious dose of electrolyte. Feeling pretty good right now. I think I got a way back up to my car, assuming it's there and intact, and I'll be on my way back to Indiana a little earlier than I thought. Not exactly what I was planning for the trip, to wrap up, but it seems like it's going to work out okay in the end.
Just noticed this while I was sitting here. As my legs are a little dirty, a little scratched up from the old Rough Creek Trail. It's another better contrast. And I just realized I have my buff, so I got it a little wet. See if we can remove the outer layer of dirt. That's one good looking leg there now, huh? A little scratched up. It's gonna be nice to get some clean clothes on. Hopefully I won't offend the taxi person too much. I put a clean shirt on, by the way. I'm trying to look presentable. I was wondering if that was you.
Well, there's a story. You were my first run of the day, and I come out to get in the taxi, and the tire's flat. I tried to call somebody else to see if they could come and get you, but nobody was closer. So.
Oh, that's all right. I appreciate you coming.
Sorry.
Made it back to the car. Wasn't the way I expected to make it back to the car or when I expected to make it back to the car, but still always feels good to get back to the car after a trip. What a long, strange trip it was. Great Smoky Mountain National Park, September 2017. A little shorter trip than I expected and didn't end the way I expected it, but it was still a great hike.